uh, the missus was, so there's two jars that are kind of ready-ish of things, like, and one of them is the Orange Gasm, the other one is my usual, well, not my usual, Cousin Chip's usual. Hang on, let me be clear about this. And she's always like, I don't like that one. It got me stoned. Don't like the taste.
I gotcha.
That's what's funny. Jeez, smashed cannabis. What are you doing? Sitting at, wow. People who dive in like straight away always surprise me. It's like you're sitting on it, ready to go.
The Orange Gasm goes over better, you're saying?
No, the cousin
Or the Pete's?
Cousin Chip's usual one goes over better.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes into that whole thing about, is there an acquired, do people have a palate taste sort of thing? And some people do here, and I think it's very regional. I think it's got a lot. Again, that's a lot to do with you growing up. What were you smoking or consuming when you were a teenager?
Shit.
And how much has that influenced your palate later on?
Yeah.
In food and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain things that you definitely. I got itchy nose.
Yeah, I like it all, man. I like it all. Some things get a little bit overpowering and they can get to be too much too quick. But other than that, I like everything. I'm more of a funky, incensey. I like the incensey, like spicy, almost floral kind of stuff. More like your like Northern Lights, kind of like Chem Dog, kind of gets that a little bit.
Paris. The old lady stuff, potpourri, that smelly stuff that your grandmother used to have kicking around. Shit. Stop sniffing. But yeah, that Orange Gasm is nice. Very interesting. Yeah, it's definitely worthy, that's for sure.
Yeah, mine's getting chunky.
And I think it's one of those that makes for a good, from what I hear, it makes for a good beginner, newbie grow. It doesn't appear to be that, it does what it says on the packet.
Yeah, it's definitely a durable plant.
Testament to the breeder. I see Grow Big SD's asking if anyone's. Actually, that would be. I know Jeff doesn't have anything growing outdoors. I don't know anybody who
Jeff
is.
doesn't do anything outdoors.
No. Man, that's such a bad year for everybody. Fuck, you've got. My nose.
You see what happened to Colorado overnight?
Yeah, I gather it got snowed on heavily by the sounds of it.
A lot of snow. They got like anywhere from 6 to 20 inches of wet, heavy snow. So if the frost and the cold didn't get it, they got crushed from the weight of that snow. That's a lot of snow.
And then you've got the all that outdoor crop in California that's just cane. I mean, 2020 will be like, you can tell it because it's the smoky weed.
And forget about outside of cannabis. I mean, California grows a lot of stuff. More Southern California, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy how many people are getting evacuated, and it's just, yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah, it's quite crazy to watch from over here, I must say. With Richard, I like the peppery ones. Now you see, that's just it. I do like the peppery ones, and that's what you were used to smoking. it kind of, I think there's something in the back of your mind that kind of sets it in that, that is, what it says it's on the tin, that's weed, it's gonna get me high.
Well, that's a pretty heavy characteristic of Durban, if I'm not mistaken.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So what you
Yeah.
grew up on and taste, and
Yeah, on that exhale, like, whew, through the nose, like, hang on a second, gonna have to go and sneeze somewhere.
yeah.
You're saying they've got ash growing big. He's got ash falling on his plants. Oh, that sucks, dude. Well, hopefully you can figure out this. Well, geez. And there must be plenty of crops that got burnt to the ground.
Oh shit, tons. I mean, it's going. I believe right through Humboldt right now. Either Humboldt or Mendo County.
People grabbing
I mean,
seed packs and mother plants and
I mean,
parent plants and running.
I've probably seen on Instagram from 4 different breeders today where they've been told to evacuate, and they got pictures of fires and shit where it's just black. It looks like night. The smoke is so thick it's like nighttime in the middle of the day.
You see, the really crazy thing is, what we're used to seeing is that happening in it's got to pick up the quotes, the air quotes. That's like third world country problem. Do you know what I mean? To quote Orange 45, that's like whole country problems. And it just goes to show, hey, it's everybody's on the cards. Hey, it's open game when it comes to this crap.
Well, when you get those types of forests too, they're gonna burn at some point, and if it's been a long, long time, it's not like it doesn't happen in California every fucking year.
Yeah, I mean that's that natural cycle of what normally would burn, it isn't getting burnt, and then
Right.
it just builds up. So eventually, when it does burn, it goes, okay, I got some catch up to do here.
Yeah.
And it's just tearing through even more. I mean, that's kind of like the downside to conservation, without realizing that there's an ecology and a balance that happen naturally, and if you start fucking with it, it's going to start fucking with you to try and go back to that balance. But the fact that like what of it was started by a reveal party. I mean, what the fuck? A reveal party, for crying out loud. I think doctors should take more responsibility and just blurt out what it is. Just kill that reveal party culture right there and then. Be done with it. Or if they say, oh, no, we're going to do a reveal party, just instant abortion. So there you go.
Yeah. Don't pass those genes along.
And if you could step to the door on the left, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, why? Why is it plastic on all the walls?
And on the floor too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's strange. You don't shoot them, you just vacuum seal them in the bag. That's where you do it. Shooting them, it's even less to clean up. It's all
clean up, yeah.
Vacuum seal.
Vacuum seal. Oh, shit.
I think I haven't thought about it. There's a list.
So, Pete, what is your thought on doing that breeding thing that Jeff was talking about? Obviously, it'd take a while. It'd be, a few seasons to do it.
Oh, dude, that's like many, many seasons. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think it would be cool to do it with like some stable. The idea was, to breed a stable line, but Jesus, that's like major work.
How and where would we start from would be my question.
Yeah, because the thing is, you're starting with like these massive poly hybrids. So, I mean, one idea would be to take, I'm thinking I could probably organize some landrace seeds from like Vietnam.
Fuck that, dude. That's like 20 fucking weeks of flower. You're talking like
No,
a
but
10-year
then
project now.
hold on. It's for seeds, so it's a little different. You know, I mean, you know, there's something to this, and then like so something like that, and then some landrace Durban poison. I mean, actually from Durban, you know, actually get a friend of mine to post them out. You know, he's got access to all of them over there, for instance. And then mix those two together. So you have that F1 and then play around with traits out of, then you do an F2 cross and find what pops out in the F2 and go, okay, hang on, there's something interesting there. Because the F1 will just give you this even keeled kind of hybrid. And then you pop it again to see if anything in that F2 range really pops, and then try and breed two stable lines out of those to create an F1 that gives you that every single time. But in it,
long flowering.
yeah, the
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely, it's a good
well, then do it
idea.
with something like a Kush and a you know a Thai. I mean, like a Vietnamese something a little that hasn't been fucked with, and that you're unlikely to have its genetics in anything else. Right? You
Or
saw the problem with
something-
using Durban poison. It's like everything's fucking got it in it. So
Right.
you know that's a really tricky one to get going with. Any thoughts in chat, by the way? And if anybody chat would like to jump in, I mean, I can happily share this.
Yeah, the only other thing I can think of is try, see if Jeff could get us a building block, get us something that hasn't been fucked with, like a G13 cross or, something like that, that isn't, a super poly hybrid that's, a cookies or, a pack you would necessarily buy, but something.
Yeah. Hey, Purple Thumb. Yeah, Smash Cannabis saying, you know, it gets worse every year. It's going like with the flowers there. I mean, the fires, the flowers. But that's the same like in England, you know, it's like every year they get surprised by the snow that arrives in winter. It's like, mate,
Right.
it's fucking winter. This shit happens every year. They're like, whoa.
Right.
Oh my God, everything comes to a grinding halt. And then you see these other countries where they're, you know, plowing through this. Yeah, the whole, you watch the snowflake hit the line and ding, 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 everything's cancelled. You know? So it was all running perfectly on time until that snowflake landed. And then you're looking on your phone of your mate in Canada sending you a video of this train just hoofing it through the snow. Hang on, let me just walk over. Snowflake gone. Let's get going, people.
That's crazy.
That's ridiculous. Peyote Wi-Fi, interesting. So close I can taste it. We'll move further away. Boom, here all week. Hey, Dab Goblin. Big Dave. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's the problem is we want to go back in, we don't want to use something that's too crossed. We want it to have only been from like two stable lines. We really want like an F1. Yeah, but true F1s is kind of, we want to take two true F1s and play with those. And the two F1s are from their ancestry isn't mixed. So you've only got like four, really roughly speaking, and you're taking 50% of each. So you've got like four major genetic gene pool pieces. It's a lot to play with. But it'll give some interesting variety. And then there's better chance of not tagging like recessive traits and shit like that. But the trick is, how do we get it to everybody? Because you have a plant count problem. The thing is, this is where what you need to be able to do is between everyone grow out until everybody agrees that's the phenotype. So hence that's the genotype that we're interested in. like that so everybody take a cut and send that cut off to everybody. Everybody grows it in their environment to see if they get different phenotypic expression of that genotype coming out. And if everybody's in agreement that, okay, that is the one, then they keep, that's the, that becomes the one of the parents that gets used for, somebody has to keep it as a mother plant because you need that to be kept ad infinitum. This is that's the original female stock that you will always go back to. And you have to do the same for a male. So you're already down 2 plants in your, unless we speak to Light Addict and get some more tips on how to graft a plant. So you have 1 plant that's both male and female. That when you need to produce more pollen or more, yeah, that's what you do. And then when you need to do a cross, you just take cuttings from each side and just grow them out and then pollinate that. So you're always playing with the same original stock.
You'd keep a cut of both, but I think I would try to store pollen rather than keeping, I don't know. I'd do both. I'd keep cuts of both the male and the female and keep pollen. And I'd try and probably do the pollen first, and then if that didn't go, probably do something with the male.
Yeah, the catch with the keeping the plant, but you kind of want to do both really. You want to keep the plant going, and just like if it's a dad plant, and then you take cuts from that to flower out, male versions of it when you need to use it, so that you're not. I mean, the catch with keeping pollen is any minor fuck up and that shit's dead, and then you don't have the original male to go back to, which is what you need. And the male, it's kind of the interesting thing is you have to pick a male out of the group and a female out of the group from each side.
Wouldn't you either back cross to one or the other? Because I mean, if you back cross the one, then the next time around you back cross to the other. Aren't you kind of defeating the purpose of
no. So the idea is, oh, by the way, just quickly here, just reading chat as well. White point, yeah. No, EU Seed Finder is exactly what we've been using and looking at and talking about with this as well. Yeah, that's a really good site. But no. So the idea, I mean, when you think about it, what you're trying to do is you're trying to create 2 new stable lines to cross. I mean, so that's that, like you're trying to create this male, you're trying to create this female, and then you're trying to bring the best qualities from the male and from the female together to give you that F1. That's that pop F1. Right. Boom.
Right.
Now, what you're doing is as you're trying to get to that point, you realize, hang on, what's starting to go missing is some of those traits from the original male plant that I needed.
If you're trying to pick
and then you cross it, it back in again. Because the genetic material that you're playing with, you see, and that's original genetics. So you had no recessive traits hidden away there. You knew exactly what you had. So you know exactly what the kick is when you bring it back in, and it gives it that, refreshes that half of the gene pool. And then you can, so if you realize, oh, hang on, that short nodal distance, but that was coming from the female side is starting to disappear, starting to stretch more and more and more, I can just take the female and bring it back in, and it reinforces that half of the gene pool.
Yeah, just when you back cross, all you're doing is bringing that dominance back into the fold from whatever parent you're back crossing.
Yeah, but from whichever traits, because the thing is, you're clearly bringing traits from. I mean, that's why it's careful selection of both parents, and then you're having to, you've got to watch out that, the thing is, if I cross it, this female with that male as opposed to that male, I can have 2 very different result sets. Especially if they are genetically slightly different. But yeah, no, it'll take the catch is it'll take a long time. Oh no, seeds lost in the post. Yeah, somebody was checking them and figured out what they were. Sorry, I'm just reading through the comments here. That sounds like the guy, like the story of the guy who buys a donkey for like $500, gets home and the donkey dies. Like, fuck, $500 down, but shit, what am I gonna do? No, I have a raffle. So he sells raffle tickets. $5 a raffle ticket. He sells 1,000, and he sells 1,000 raffle tickets. And he draws a number and he goes, "Hey, that's number 5. You won. Come around tomorrow and pick up the donkey." Guy comes around the next day and goes, "Hey, man, the donkey's dead." And the guy goes, "Ah, shit. All right, well, he has your $5 back." It's still, quids in. So what are guys in chat up to? Everybody kind of like, whereabouts in the world is everybody from? I know where some people are from. Where's everybody tuning in from? 15 people. Let's see, let's do a Fumidor and see if anybody tries to join.
What you got going on, Pete?
Hmm?
What you got going on?
I was just chatting and just typing in chat.
So,
Yeah, not a heck of a lot, really. It's just I'm somewhat on sober, stay sober, because it might have to do Dad's taxi run. I don't know. The youngest one is out. Don't know what time I will be home. Can you keep a plate of food for me? It's like, okay. That's saying farewell to friends and whatnot. So I think that's possibly going to get very, very messy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's when you then that's what you worry about when you've got daughters, man. So, but then again, I know, I'll tell you what, they'd be had to get back very quickly. Like, nah, mate, you can deal with that psycho. Fucking nothing to do with that shit. Christ. We've kidnapped your child. Good luck. Put the phone straight back down. Go, you'll be phoning me back really quickly, offering money to take her back.
Well,
Who else is driving in a 4x4 U-Haul box?
I think my cuts will be ready to go this weekend.
Okay, cool.
So it should be ready by the time we're ready to go.
And then we won't have to run it for a particularly long veg cycle. So I think, we can be a little bit more, be quicker.
Yeah,
and going forwards, I think this will probably be a way of doing it, is just to take, well, if everybody's already like popped seeds of, if everybody did get the lemon Jeffrey and has popped seeds of those in the background, then, they can veg out while these things are flowering, and then, you can take cuts or do those when they're ready to go. So it really would just be the flowering cycle part rather than the whole veg cycle as well.
Yeah, I got them. I was just kind of waiting to see what the plan was, and because 4 weeks, then another 8 to 9 weeks of flower. That's 13 weeks. So I don't want to veg too long. So maybe when we flip, I'll pop. Maybe when we flip, I'll pop, and that will give that's 8. That's 8-9 week veg. Fuck.
Yeah, I know the Mystery Grow's got a lemon Jeffrey that's already been vegging, and I think they're going to throw that in for the hell of it. Sorry, just again checking on getting distracted. It's difficult to keep both things going at the same time. Submitting data. I think you're referring to this HTTPS. I think it is. I think that's still correct. Quickly double check that is. Yeah, that is it. And what do you want to do when you follow that link there in chat is if you've got a Peel Growth Systems unit, you can download the data from the chart platform, from the charts, and then you can upload it into here and get a little bit of extra analytics run on it. If your data, if you've got a Govee or a sensor push, you can select from the data service option. Actually, let me just share it. Just pop this off the screen. Oh, wrong one. I'm only doing this all on one screen without a mouse. Trying to. So yeah, if you've got Peel Growth Systems unit, you can just download the data and then you can upload it here and it'll run some extra analytics on it for you. Oh, that's spectral analysis if you want to upload some images. The Govee one, so if you've got a Govee unit, you can download the data of that. And again, then if you just upload it and it knows what the file format is supposed to be, if you download it as the CSV, as Govee as a CSV file and upload it straight away. And the same for sensor push. If you're using a sensor push and you want to have some extra charts, you can upload the data and get some more here. I just don't have a sample data file to upload, unfortunately. And then if you've got one that's not of any of these, you can use the experimental option. And what you have under the initial data prep is you can upload a file. And let me see. Would this work? Yeah, and then it'll ask you, I mean, it'll give it an error if it doesn't understand some things, but it'll ask, for instance, which column is the index column. So which one is like the timestamp? So in this case, it's date and time. And then it'll start to do an analysis of the data set for you. So you'll get like, how many records. You can resample it. So I can resample the data at, let's say, Ford Fill. Actually, no, there's not minute by minute, it's only hour by hour. So it won't resample it down to a minute. But I could probably resample it into days. 1 day, no, probably don't have a day's worth of data. No, it's all 11 a.m. It's all 1 hour. But that would, so you can upload it, and then once you've prepared it, you can tell it to download that file, and you can do the deeper dive option, which is where you upload the file you just prepped here, and it'll do charts and everything for you. But this is where you can also, excuse me, hold on a second. You could also follow along with Operation Grow. Yeah, and this is the various, growers environments. You can look at the current, well, standard, which is the current stuff rather than forecast, for instance, and that gives an interesting view of VPD done in a slightly different visualization. Actually, maybe I can make it full screen. It's hidden here somewhere. Where the hell is it gone? there's the problem is, I know it's on here somewhere, but there's an option somewhere to make it go full screen, but I can't see it. Image. But yeah, this is just a different way of visualizing, looking at the VPD, doing it in 3 dimensions. Temperature and humidity, and then VPD, so you can see as the temperature goes up, well, it's rotated around, so as the temperature goes up and the humidity comes down, VPD goes up, and this is just how many points were collected. Yeah. And then you can have a look at the charts as well. This hasn't refreshed for a bit. You can clear this cache and reload it, and that'll take a little bit of time. Actually, I don't know how much it's going to pull back there. It's a totally different shape all of a sudden. Yep, and you have all the data here. I like this, pointing at the tape. This is the one I quite like. So most of the time it's spent at between 23 and 23.5 degrees Celsius, and between 64 and 66% humidity is where it's spending a good portion of the time. It's also spending a good portion of the time up at 80% humidity. Yeah, but it's not too bad. Most of it's down there. But yeah, that's a free resource. Go and have a play. Have a look and see what's there. In fact, let's have a look and see. Lefty. It's quite a bit. It's pulling back a month's worth of data. It's like a really narrow band. You don't have much of a swing in temperature. And even in, the humidity goes from like 45 to 70, but most of it's at the lower end. Yeah.
Yep.
That's definitely aren't being kept in check, I must say. Looking good. Yeah. And look at that. I mean, there you can see how it jumps from one set to the other. It doesn't drift. There's no gradual swing from lights on to lights off. It goes lights on, lights off. You can almost see it. This is lights on. This is lights off.
Yeah.
It spends less time because maybe a little bit, but it's really, really clear all of a sudden looking at that. Yeah. Nice. Let's see what people quickly saying.
I think it's been better lately too, and staying connected. I wonder how the new house is going to be.
Yeah, it's definitely, you can see from the data it's staying connected for longer.
Yeah, it looks like it's staying connected better now. I haven't gotten any emails in 2 weeks, so it's either disconnected or connected. Either way, it's been what it is for like 2 weeks.
But I think that's possibly been your internet access. I mean, it's
it's my internet. What happens is my internet goes in and out.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the distance or whatnot, but that will not reconnect unless if I go over and reboot my Wi-Fi from the router, it will reconnect the minder, but it won't reconnect if just the internet just pops back on. Like I got to physically reset it on the router for it to reconnect.
Okay, yeah, that's the ISP.
Where other things just reconnect to it.
Yeah, picture the roots. Actually, I had hey, Dr. Wiggler. I had a good chat with Sam from Cannabuzz the other day, and I'm going to collaborate with them potentially on doing something there with that classification challenge for the blind growers and for everybody really, just to have it as an extra tool, to be able to do it.
I took some pictures today for you too. I'll send those to you.
No, cool. Yeah. So I'm just reading through the comments. Hey, Doctor, how you doing, buddy?
How we doing?
Chilling, man, chilling.
Man, I was just doing some work and I noticed y'all were on. I'm like, man, Wednesday's like my lucky day or something. I mean, I think I made more Wednesday shows than I did Saturday shows. I didn't mean to interrupt anybody.
No, you weren't. I'm just busy reading.
Pete's ignoring me and I'm smoking weed. Nothing new.
Just reading through all the comments quickly. Yeah, so from like there's some lovely filth down here in chat. Yeah, if your data logger or anybody, if the data logger lets you download the data as a CSV file, then on the Oracle site, you just use the experimental one to upload it into there. And it tries to guide you along, so you just have to click on things to get it to work. I do realize I really want to try and bring some extra tool sets to this whole group, because I do realize not everybody's techie or IT literate, and you've got all these data loggers and they're logging all this information, but it means nothing if you can't access the damn stuff. It's pointless. You don't see the benefit in it. And it's trying to figure out a way of just making it easier. In the big corporate world, there's all this business information and business intelligence software that hooks in and pulls in data from everywhere and gives people just a simple click and drag interface. Create the charts and insights they want. It's like, why not make that for this industry?
Me too, Richard. Richard says I'd like to see the roots from the Autopots. I think we're all pretty curious, buddy.
Oh, those roots. Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I thought you were meaning cuttings roots as well. But from the cuttings, root photos at different stages of root development. What we're after there.
Do we have like a limit on how big the cutting is supposed to be or anything like that? Well, so I can I could stick like 4 big ass plants in there if I wanted to.
Sweet. It's just on this one, it's going to be about plant manipulation. So, for one plant to be left alone and do the normal kind of housekeeping on it.
But no topping.
Yeah, one just gets left. It's like regular housekeeping. Do the normal defoliation with the yellowing leaves and just keeping it healthy and in check. And then on the other one, to do like an aggressive leaf stripping of it. Everybody does it like super. And I wouldn't do anything else to it other than that's the only thing that's being done so that it can be compared to the one the control. And then the third one would be just have the stems popped and the normal usual maintenance to keep it looking good or whatever. And then the fourth one, heavy LST, really bend it. No, that's not low stress training. I'm talking, it's more like super cropping. Yeah, super crop and then super crop the other one.
Man, I just can't imagine canopy is going to be insane. It's not going to be even. It's not it's already driving my OCD nuts. You got one tall plant, one wide plant, one naked plant. It's
It will cure you of your OCD one way or another, mate. We'll drive it home hard.
But you know what I mean? Excuse me, but for me, it's all about canopy management.
Hold on a second.
You know, for me, it's all about canopy management. So like, I'm literally trying to manage the canopy, and like, no matter what, no matter where I grow, you know, that's what it's all about. That top canopy. Like everything else can really go eat a dick. That top canopy is the most important part for me. Like, you know, your light gets a foot of penetration, you know, then that's the top foot of the canopy that matters. If your light gets
Mm,
3 foot of
mm.
penetration, the top 3 foot is what matters, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
this
the
will be
idea is
different.
to, well, I mean, if you know, if you've so basically the thing, if you left one, it's just to prove, you know, does it make a difference? So is it as a new, if you were growing as a newbie grower? Hey, Smash, by the way, I'm not ignoring you. But you know, if you're a newbie grower, you hear and see all these things online. It's like, well, okay, you know, does it really make that much of a difference? And to quantify it, and you know, for a newbie, it may just be you're better off just do your just general maintenance of the plant. And actually that ends up with the best overall final product. You didn't stress it at any point. You just let it be. Um,
I kind of agree with that, you know, maybe like top it once and just kind of let it be. That's a great starting point.
mm.
Started learning with LST. This is the first thing I did because I figured might as well learn with low stress training before I start high stress training.
Yeah. And then it's, you know, which ones of those work? I mean, because a lot of that LST is trellising is
Honestly, you
essentially
just mix
LST.
them together.
Yeah.
I just throw them all together. It depends on what my plant looks like. Maybe I'll top it. Maybe I'll bend it. If I want to, I don't know. Trellises get hard when you're doing a whole tent to move the plants around. I learned that quick. So if you trellis, you should single pot trellis, which you stick the stakes in the pot and then just put your net above that pot so it's still mobile.
Yeah, we saw something in Indo Lefty, didn't we? Yeah, we saw something there that fits on top of the pot that then popped out open. But
It's
then
the
they go,
plant.
oh, it only
I think
fits
that-
on one size pot. And it's like, okay,
thought it
that's a
was-
bit of a.
I thought that was the plant trainer thing. I don't remember if they had a scrog net on it or not, did it? I thought that was just like that plant trainer.
I know there is a company that has one that like
Yeah,
goes
there
on
was-
top of a 5-gallon bucket.
I thought like
Hmm.
Floraflex had one set up. I want to say they were green and white. That's why I think they're Floraflex, but I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, and that was the catch when because it fits on a like a round bucket, and I said, okay, that's great, but what about square pots? And they went, oh no, we don't have one for those. Like,
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
it doesn't really help. That doesn't really work. Yeah, square pots definitely make more efficient use of space.
I was actually looking at what are they, the sip containers, the big square ones at Lowe's.
Well, if you really want to make yourself, you know, your irrigation life easy, I think everybody on the show would admit to, you know, that the Autopot system has made it very, very easy to take care of the plants in that sense, especially if you've got a lot of them. And now, there where you're running with a trellis and you've got to water plants individually, that's also a problem if you've got them in a place and they're all trellised out in one big fixed trellis. So at least with the Autopot, it's feeding all of them, but they're all being fed at their own rate. They're not, just because they're all connected to the same system doesn't mean they're all being fed at the same rate. It has a flow control valve that regulates the flow to each pot individually. And I think everybody's been quite surprised by the by the results. You'll throw your back out when you pick one of those pots up, because you're not suspecting it to be quite as heavy
40
as it
pounds.
is. Yeah. You're used to picking up a cocoa pot that only gets watered, like that gets hand watered once a day. It's a very different ball game. Like, oh shit.
I'm having trouble getting my plants like flushed out. Like they just don't want to fade at all. It's really
Mine
starting.
aren't either.
Hmm.
I got one that's just kind of yellowing. I wouldn't say it's fading, but it's starting to kind of yellow out, and the other one doesn't seem to be doing shit.
I mean, I even took the pots out, put them in the tub, and like ran just like straight water through them. Like 10 gallons a piece because I was getting annoyed with it.
What is it? What strain?
Orange Gasm and Golden Goat.
Could it be a phenotype that just at the end? Because I haven't done those two, but I've had cultivars that like you get really close to the end. You're like rounding 2 days before 65, and then all of a sudden the color drops real quick.
I think it's to do a lot with. I mean, with these auto. Sorry, I don't know if you were, Doctor, if you were going to dive in, but I think I think it might have to do with the autopart system as well, because it's a bottom feed system. Even though you're now only just feeding it water for the last bit of its life, there is still this like hot layer higher up in the substrate.
Plants.
Hmm?
Doc flushed his plants from the top.
Like for real, and I'm talking like 10 gallons of water through them pots. Like,
Yeah.
Is your PPM?
I don't have a PPM meter, to be honest.
I don't either, but I just know you're supposed to have it low at flush.
I would imagine that it's about the same PPM as my water, or pretty close to it. You know, after putting that much water through it.
But all you're doing is you're just starving it. So, so long as you do that, if it doesn't choose to fade out, it just didn't choose to fade out. It doesn't mean. I mean, it's interesting though. This is like a religious
Some of 'em you
debate.
gotta let
Flush
dry out.
or let's not call it flush. Starve or not starve for the last 2 weeks or week of its life.
Oh no, I was flushing that pot. I know what I was doing. I flushed the pot. I didn't flush the plant. I flushed the pot.
Hallelujah, brother. Preach. Let's talk about things the way they're supposed to be talked.
That'd be a good question for Jeff, though. I mean, as far as the orange gasm goes, on what he notices, it might just be a thing with the orange gasm where he's like, "Oh, some plants do fade a little bit, some don't fade at all. They just, the leaves might taco more or something. Who knows?"
Well, I know that the mystery grower has been flushing the Golden Goat for 2 weeks now, and
I'm on 2 weeks
only
myself.
just seeing, and I mean that's running just water, nothing else. And the top few leaves they're saying is starting to fade out. I think they post. Yeah, I mean I posted some of the pictures up, and I think I might have cropped them to crop out the faded leaves. But yeah. Cold water. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the water temperature is for everybody.
Probably about the same as room temperature. I mean, our reservoirs are in our room, and our basic room temperatures. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's between 70 and 75 degrees.
Nice and consistent. So, how's the mud bugs doing, buddy?
I ain't been to one, man. I'm just kidding. I ain't been to one.
You can go to one this Saturday because there isn't a show on this Saturday. It will be the 19th, which is the following Saturday, is like the closeout for this season. I think everybody would have chopped down by then.
That's good because there is a big badass one this Saturday.
Excellent. And you do need to be there because Jaren will be there from 5/8. New Millennium. We'll have Manny from Autopot on as well as Ben. We'll have Jeff. We'll have everybody on. And then get everybody's like kind of final verdicts and what they thought of the different bits and pieces. Because also for this next run, you can use whatever nutrients, whatever, it's like your normal grow technique. Just use the Autopot system because it just keeps consistent. Everything's getting the same. I mean, so if you do the super soil, put super soil, but it goes in the Autopot and then they just get water fed to them or whatever additives you want to put in. But the idea there is just to keep, the fertigation regime the same for all of them as well. And then the same size containers, all of that's kept consistent.
Right on. Something else that I haven't noticed. It's not that I was, today I realized it. We haven't found that pheno. Like none of us have like that consistent pheno that we've found the last 2 seasons. Last 2 seasons we were able to find something in each grow that looked basically identical.
Yeah, we've had that with Tyler and the Mystery Grove had that with the Golden Goat. There is the Golden Goat pick. There was one, the one that the Mystery Grove is growing. You can definitely see it in amongst the four that Tyler's growing.
I do have one of the orange soda. I have the orange soda as well. My third plant is the orange soda. So I have like just a orangey, just it's like orangey. I can't put a finger on it, so it's orangey. And then I have like the cereal milk one, like the Trix or Fruit Loops cereal milk. And then I got like the cream soda one, the orange. It's like an orange cream soda is what it smells like.
Mm.
Are
I
you
think
still,
it's,
are your plants still alive?
Bagel orange cream soda, Doc.
Are your plants still alive?
What?
Your plants are still in pots, like growing?
Yeah.
I'm like, the way you're explaining it, I'm thinking, shit, it must be in jars. Like,
No, they smell like that on the plant, dude.
I get a lot of gas out of mine. Like, they smell really gassy. I don't really get any orange smells or anything. I smell gassy.
Oh wow.
I get numb to the smell in my house. I don't know how you guys are smelling all that stuff.
Yeah, dude, I'm with you too, bro. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I totally forget. Like, I'm trying to smell pot when I'm smelling things.
Yeah,
It's
you
when
have
somebody
people come
had
in and they're
to-
like, your house reeks, and I'm like, what? Here, I'll raise some Febreze.
Well, when somebody hands you a jar and goes, "Oh, this," and you go, "Yep, smells like weed. Great." It's like, well, but I know what you mean, man. We've been walking around Brick Lane with my youngest one. We were taking photos of the graffiti and that. Some guys walk past smoking a joint, and
I
all you
think
get the comment is, "Hey, it smells like home."
I think the best time to get a whiff of your plants is like you have to go for like a day on a trip, and then you come back, and then you can really start smelling things. Like you start smelling your house, and you're like, oh wow, it really does start smelling like weed.
Yeah.
But then it dulls real quick though. You'll sit down, and 10 minutes later it's gone. So right when you walk in the door, I usually go to the tent and I'll try to get a whiff of like each plant.
You go nose blind really, really quickly.
So bad.
When I moved them to the bathroom to flush them, that's when I got the real gassy. Like, I could just, it was real pungent in the house. I was like, damn.
I killed 3 autoflowers this round. I don't even know what I did wrong.
But they were actually manual stick shift instead.
Dude, seriously, it's just they're so finicky. You overwater them and they're done. They won't grow.
Yeah.
They slow down forever. Yeah.
And they're also ones that. So I back in the day, there was a trick for getting autos to go was in the small little cup container that you start them in, but you start them in a little plastic container.
I was, but this time I was gonna start them in like a big pot, like everyone says.
Yeah.
No. So what you do is you start it in a little container, and as it hits the bottom, you take that little container and you cut the bottom off it. Okay, just the bottom off, and you put that on top of the big pot that you're gonna let it grow in. Okay, and it actually has add an extra 4 inches or whatever. I don't know, 12 inches apparently. To the it all depends how you measure it.
Well, it depends how you shave.
To the Manscaped, not a sponsor.
We'll take it.
But you add that extra length to the tap root as well, which results in a slightly bigger plant. So you can it's almost as it thinks it's in a bigger pot because you've raised it up a little bit. And
Wow.
you don't disturb the roots at all. So they get a chance to get going in something that you're not going to overwater because it's a little container. And then once it hits the big one, you get that just one light watering if it's going to go into soil.
Yeah.
Light watering, and then just lightly water around it every now and then.
That'd work. But I always pot my autoflowers right in the final pot.
But they're already
that.
twitchy.
Yeah, and then I use a spray bottle for as long as I can get away with it, just fucking misting that soil around the top of that plant. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I've had great luck. I haven't had any that have just puked out on me.
It's the first time, Lefty. It's the first time they've ever just puked out on me. Really.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's because I changed soil mixes. I've went bigger into a bigger tent. I changed everything at once, and then I was like, let's play with auto flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like the beginning of the Operation Grow season with, I mean, Lefty, you had that with the nutrient things and then change like every element. And then it's like, okay, well, which one have I
Well, I
changed
was in,
that?
yeah, I was in a
you
new
know, like,
tent with a new light, with a new exhaust fan, with the
Yeah,
auto pots, with
New
cocoa.
genetics.
With fucking,
I did
yeah,
the same
everything
thing
was
this
new.
round, Lefty.
Genetics, yeah, everything was new.
I
That
did
was
the
fun.
same exact thing this round. I did the tent, new lights, new LEDs, like new fans, everything. I did everything because I was used to. I was stuck in a little because I was growing personally for me. I wasn't caregiving for anyone. I was in a 5x3, and it was only like as tall as me. I'm 6 feet tall. I kept my plants small, and I was happy because it provided for myself. But now I caregive and stuff, so it got bigger.
Yeah.
My White Widow photo periods are doing good though.
Nice.
Whose White Widow are you running?
Seedmans.
Okay.
I figured I might as well try them.
Mm,
I can't find pure, like, I don't know, pure White Widow. You know what I mean? And they say it's pure White Widow, so I was like, well, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, I mean, that's the interesting thing is, I mean, because the particular White Widow that everybody likes, that's the result of one particular cross that happened. You know what I mean? You know, and it's, you know, then you're chasing it forever. You can be close because you can take, you know, like, so what they call like Quick Durban is, or they call it Quick Durban, I think. And that's Durban Poison cross with Skunk #1. Now, I mean, I've done a cross with that in the past, and I wouldn't have called what I had like, you know, Quick Durban. I would have called that's just Skunk #1 cross with Durban Poison because it's not the same particular Durban Poison plant that was selected for crossing with a particular skunk plant that created that. But they are, you know, related.
Skunk one is
so-
not skunk. I'm just putting it out there. Like
Mm,
skunk don't smell fruity.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say. Well, I mean, it just didn't smell fruity. I mean, that's just one of those.
Every skunk one I've ever popped, like I always get like some crazy fruit smells out of it. And I'm like, this shit's not skunk. Like, where's the skunk at?
So
Where's the dead fox?
So I believe the Las Vegas lemon skunk came out of the skunk #1. And I also believe that the cheese came out of the skunk #1. So that's two just completely different tastes and smells out of the same plant.
Out of the same cross, so anyway.
Yeah, the same cross.
I just popped. What are they? Everyone, like, I love Blue Dream. I don't know why people say they hate it. I still love it. Best Coast Genetics.
I got a Blue Dream growing in house right now, bro.
It's a Tahoe OG crossed with Blue Dream, and then that's one plant, and then they cross that with Blueberry Afghani. So
That sounds nice.
I'm really excited for that. I'm hoping to get the blueberry out of it, and I just want the size of I want like the structure of a Blue Dream, and I want the Blueberry Afghani smell.
What you got, Pete?
This is the so like okay, so skunk #1. I mean, these are all the ones that are skunk #1.
Exactly.
So you go from Dutch Quality, Royal Queen, Green Label, Flying Dutchman.
SC is the only one.
Which
Yeah.
one?
Sorry, guys. I just gotta
SC.
say to that.
Exactly. There's original skunk #1 from Seedsman.
No, it'd be from Sensi Seeds.
Yeah, since he's in there, they're at the top
Sensi
of.
Seeds.
Sensi Seeds.
There
Yeah.
you go.
So let's have a look
Check
and
White Widow.
see if we can.
But this is all new, updated info. We want the old info.
So this is the genealogy of skunk #1.
Okay.
It's an Afghan, Mexico, Colombian cross.
Yep.
Afghan, which I guess was crossed with the Mexican, which was crossed with Colombian. And it's all they know about it.
And that's just a
That's
guess.
going to be
That's a
in
guess. That's somebody's
every single
educated guess. Is what that is.
No, because that's what Neville bred was. Didn't Neville breed that? No, he was an SSSC. I thought that was done in like the 80s, like the late 80s, the skunk projects.
Yeah,
Does it say
Skunk
here?
One is not a project of the skunk. That's what I'm saying.
No. The
Yeah.
original skunk, dude, like the Michigan skunk.
Dude, that
Isn't
shit would
skunk-
stink
isn't
out
skunk
like
one.
your whole neighborhood. Like,
Yeah,
there's,
dude, it's-
where's that
it's-
weed at?
Yeah, that wasn't skunk one. That was like some old Afghani or something.
That was like skunk weed.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Skunk One.
So
is
you've
not-
got like Afghani
No,
skunk.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
double O
like-
skunk. I mean, and it is, but skunk. I mean, is that not a generalized classification for stuff that smells like roadkill? There you
It
go,
should smell.
skunk.
If it says skunk, it should smell like a roadkill skunk.
Look
Yeah.
at how many there are though of like skunk number one.
That's
That's why I laughed at it. Is because
I mean, this is so. I mean, it is insane.
Yeah,
But I
that's
mean,
ridiculous.
Realistically, what they did is they probably took the two same parent plants and crossed it and said, hey, this is the skunk.
or they F2'd somebody else's work, or they pretended like they had the one and made it, put it on there so they could make the sales. All those are in there, I'm sure.
And
I
then you get
actually
like, I mean, they're all named exactly the same, but they're just from different breeders. So,
Yeah.
and all they've done there is that's where they've gone. Okay, so it was.
So,
I'm
so
not saying
check
with
two,
these
check
breeders.
2 or 3 of those and see if they're even the same cross.
So let's see. What we've got here. So skunk one back across the skunk one, and then something with early pearl. So let's go early pearl, and then okay.
It's got Afghani, Mexican, and Colombian. It said.
Yeah, well, that was the original. So they took skunk number one, and that was the lineage of that, and they crossed that with early pearl, which is so skunk
So
one.
skunk
crossed
one
with
times early pearl
gives
is supposed to be this
the early skunk. Okay, so
early
let's
skunk.
see if this lot are doing the same. Yep. Now, if they've got the same cut, then it is the same. If they're doing it from the same cut, which would
Dude,
be-
I'm not gonna lie. If you go to his website, Seedman's, he's got everything. So I don't know. I don't know if he's doing it from cuts or what.
So they're all being done. I mean, those all look like they're certainly showing up as having the same bulk. See, bulk seeds is not. That's just a seed bank, though. That's not an actual breeder. So we've got to be. Some of these got to pick out who's the actual seed breeders and who are the seed banks.
I think the original skunk one originally was bred by SSSC, which is Super Sativa Seed Club. But that wasn't the roadkill skunk. The roadkill skunk wasn't bred. That's just some heirloom or landrace crazy smelling stinky shit that Jerome that nobody can find. But the original skunk one, I think, led to like the Las Vegas lemon skunk, and I think the cheese, the UK cheese, came out of that.
Yeah.
There's been a bunch of different shit found out of the bred skunk one.
I'm actually reading a lineage right now because I picked up some. It's called Old School, and it says it's the UK original cheese crossed with the selected in the late 90s Black Domina Afghani. So, and it's Ripper seeds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not particularly a big fan of the stuff that smells like, dead tramp's arsehole, it's like, great.
It's like,
Yeah, this shit's a fire, man. Yeah, I get it. There's cheeses that I eat that, people will probably not want to go near for the exact same reason. But it's just if they didn't call it, which is usually the problem. If you gave it a slightly, just give it a number. Do you have to call it old man's fart breath? You know, it's like,
Well, it's
It's
like that
the words
pheno
might paint a
of the
picture.
lemon delight that I had that smelled like old people's bad breath.
Yeah, but at least you're going in with thinking lemon delight.
Right.
It's gonna be a bit more appealing than if it was labeled old people's bad breath. Like, nah, thanks, I'll pass.
Well, then you smell it and you're like, oh God, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
but at least you know what you're getting, though. I mean, I don't want to pop something that says lemon delight and think that that's a bad example, and then get some bad breath. I want lemon delight. That's what I want.
I see like growing big SDC people
And
talk
then,
about
like
baby poo tips now. It's like,
the
oh,
orange gasm, for instance. Like, dude, this whole house should smell like oranges right now. It doesn't. I
I
don't
was just
smell
gonna
orange
say that.
nothing.
Ah,
Abolished Farms. That's his flavor right now. He looks for the baby poop. I'm like, if I smelled baby poop in something I'm smoking, I couldn't do it.
yeah.
I don't even
And
know if
and I
I've
hate
heard
to
of
break,
that guy.
growing
He's
big.
on the EO show, right, Pete?
Who?
Abolished
no,
Farms.
he's on the
Michigan Bros.
Michigan Bros. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many shows.
Yeah, he's a solid dude. He's all right, but he breeds or he hunts for it. I guess he likes that.
I know who Spartan Grow is. I think he's on that show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm out of the times, man. I don't even barely make it to this show.
Dude, this is what I do nowadays. And I have a week schedule of podcasts. Learn to grow. I watch Jeff on Monday morning, which is awesome. You wake up, you got Jeff in the morning, and then it just goes out through the week. I don't really watch TV anymore. Pete's like, oh, everyone, I'm surprised when people just jump in wicked quick. It's because I'm on YouTube watching videos.
Yeah. No, well, precisely. It's what everybody's doing. I mean, I hate to break the news to growing big SD. I mean, I remember from the days of changing loads and loads of nappies, the nappy bags that you put them in. If I smell one of those these days, all I think of is baby shit. That's the smell of the association is bad enough to not, like, if you actually gave me some herb that smelled like baby poo, you're gonna get it thrown back at you really fucking quickly.
What is a nappy bag?
A plastic bag that you tie the shitty nappy and throw it in the bin. You don't just throw
A
it.
diaper bag.
Diaper,
It's like the
yeah,
diaper trash bag.
Yeah, sorry,
I
diapers.
don't know.
Speak
My
English,
daughter's
people.
like 15. We just threw the diaper in the trash can when I don't know.
Your daughter's 15 and wearing diapers.
No, not now, motherfucker. That's what I mean. 15 years ago.
I don't have a kid yet.
You're a
No
father.
diapers.
You
No,
then took
actually,
the
I
trash
had
can
one of those
outside and
diaper
burnt it.
genies. I had one of those for a while. You could put like 8 diapers in it.
And
or
they just,
something.
it's like a chamber
like
that they don't smell.
Yeah,
makes
and then
like
it was
a
like a
sausage
paper
of
bag.
shit.
And you just tied up like the paper bag, and then it went out.
I
Yeah,
have
we
a
have-
wicked weak stomach. Like, I have a hard time taking out the trash sometimes. Like, for real.
Oh, don't worry. After you've had kids, it breaks that.
Yeah, just go have a kid, bro. Really, you'll solve half of that.
Get over it real quick.
Yeah, I mean, there's no options. That shitty diaper's got to be changed. And if it's a boy, you might just get pissed off.
Pissed off, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With the first kid, the one time changing her nappy diaper, and I ducked down to pick up the diaper off the shelf below, and I hear like what I think is just like a fart, yeah, like as they do, and they change it. Like, "Oh, okay, fine." I look back up, I changed the diaper and everything. I turn around, hey, on the wall, that it just shot straight at the top of my head. Thank God for the streamlining. I was like, man, I almost caught that square in the face.
So, I got a question for you, dads. Did you stop growing at a period, like when or maybe you weren't even growing yet, but like when your child was born or when the mother was pregnant? Did you stop growing? Did you grow through it?
That's when you start growing.
Yeah, I
something to dull the
personally,
pain.
I personally just kept on growing, man. My daughter's mom left early in the first year of her life, and I didn't have many options, man. I paid the bills with weed for a while. You know what I
So-
mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
My son was 18 when I started growing, so it really didn't matter.
Oh, really?
Mystery growers grew the whole way through the whole time, and no matter how hard they try, the mystery growers kids will not get high with them.
Oh, they won't smoke with you?
Nope, they got no. Well, no, not me, the mystery grower, of course. Yeah, not in the slightest bit interested.
He must grow
Uh,
some boof ass weed or something.
No, I think their whole attitude is, it's what the oldies do. I mean, that's the same with the teenagers.
Oh yeah, they all want to do the MDMA and the heroin and stuff.
Oh,
They
I've
don't
tried
wanna-
that too.
Yeah.
I've gone, hey, it's a really nice day. Do you want to go and talk in the park? No, Dad.
Molly. Oh, there's Molly.
I used to rave a lot, and let's just say I used to work for someone at the rave, and I had a lot of capsules on me. No more Molly.
I'm not the least bit surprised, buddy.
No more.
Hey guys, I'm gonna get out of here.
All right, Lefty.
All right,
I
let's
got,
see. Have a
I got
good
shit
day,
to do.
bro.
I can't play with you guys all night.
Yeah. Shit to do.
This
Gotta
guy.
get busy before the wife gets home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about it.
He's got to make dinner or what?
I'm gonna quickly go and
Yeah, probably.
pity on, take his shoes and socks off so he can be barefoot and cooking when she gets home. And then the
Yeah.
question.
Hey,
See you
right
guys.
on. You better get it done, buddy.
Meow, right now.
And in a few years he'll be pregnant and in the kitchen. Yeah, purple. And hang on. Yeah, I'd happily jump on the talking shit with Eagle.
It's fucking
It's the
talking
time-
shit with Eagle.
Fucking
And
talking
shout
shit,
outs
sorry.
to the man. I was on the show and it was a good show, man. I had fun.
Wait, and I DM'd him, and he sent me some of those seeds to grow along. I picked out Agent Orange. I wish I decided sooner because he had Jilly Bean, and I really want to grow Jilly Bean, but I
Man,
decided too
I
late.
got a Jilly Bean times an old school Cherry OG going outside right now. Dude, that fucker's as tall as the house. Like on that
Nice.
shit, it's as tall as the house.
I got a little. I stressed out these girls outside, and I got a male outside. So I'm letting the girls get seeded, and they look good. They look like they're already seeded and pregnant. And I really hope, like I don't know. I'm not. I guess I would say I kind of want to start breeding. You know what I mean? To like, it just seems like it's fun. You know, I've been growing so long. It's time to start making seeds.
How long you been growing?
I'm going on 5 years now.
Right on. I think everybody should make at least one strain.
Try
I
it.
mean,
yeah.
you play with it, have fun, see how it works, see what happens. You know, the ins and out of it. If you're growing weed and you haven't like experimented at least with, don't think you're a breeder just because you made some seeds, though. You know what I mean? Like that's not the way this works.
Yeah.
I give mad credit to breeders. You know what I mean?
Breeding is
Sucks
a
because like if I
truly
wanted
long
to-
process.
Yeah.
if I wanted to get into like the industry at all, it would have to be through working for a breeder or something like that because I could never work in a grow, like a
Like
legal
the-
grow.
The cultivar on my screen there, that's Angel's Cookie. It's in like almost year 4 of breeding now. 2 people have grown it besides me. Like it's got to be stable before it goes anywhere. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I hope.
And when I say stable, I'm not talking about herms either. If it's got herms, it's junk. It's herms. Like when I say stable, I mean when you pop a 10-pack, I want 8 out of 10 to be the same.
So is cookies junk then?
Is cookies junk?
I think it's made a lot of good things, but it's unstable.
Okay.
Forum cut cookies is a very sick plant these days. And that is what everybody made all these cookies out of. Now, I actually have a cut of forum cut cookies. I'm not talking out of my ass. I grow it. It doesn't yield worth a fuck. That's true cookies. Everything else is a hybrid thereof.
You know,
I mean, the reason why I'm asking is, I'm being facetious by on purpose. Is everybody will go, oh, it herms, it's shit. But then you get these fire strains that come through that also herm to crap. But everybody, oh, you just don't know what you're doing all of a sudden. I mean, I
Well,
mentioned it in
didn't
the show, but, that's
what
kind of like the mentality that occurs, which is weird.
Subby said that I think it was the Agent Orange actually. The Agent Orange, he's like it throws nanners at the end, but there's no pollen.
I mean, if they throw it at the very end, I mean, a lot of them will do it. A lot of them at the very end are going to do it. They're desperately trying to reproduce. I mean, they're like realizing, shit. That's essentially all that's really happened when they're herming is they've just gone, fuck, I'm gonna die and I haven't reproduced. Let's just do something. But yeah, that's why you wind up with the occasional bit of bag seed, because even in those clean, super clean, no male environments, super stable lines.
I don't know if it's throwing
happens
nanners.
occasionally.
It better be late enough where I'm not getting seeds though.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I would say. I wouldn't want anything that throws like I personally, if I was breeding something, like you said, Wiggle, I wouldn't do anything that hermed at all. I wouldn't try to do anything that hermed.
Yeah, if I find it herms, like I got some stuff right now that it hermed. It was a cherry cordell times a hash plant. It hermed. It's a beautiful trichome punch. It's beautiful, absolutely stunning plant. The cultivars that didn't herm, but the other ones they hermed, and I just don't have time to go fuck with that and try to make that better. I'm not
You'd
that
have to,
guy.
like,
I didn't
back
do it
cross
for
it
that.
a little
I
bit.
did it to see what happened. It didn't work for me.
I'm just gonna make a cup of coffee.
I move on.
Back in a sec. Keep the convo going.
A little cup of Joe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was waiting for a spot of tea, please. Oh man, I don't know. I decided I used a Canorado girls, and then I used some freebie. I've been picking through these freebie seeds. They're Chem Dog or Chem 91 Cali Orange cross. So I picked the male from. I grew about 100 seeds, and I finally found the male I wanted to work with. And then the Canorado was getting pricey because I kept looking for different females, and then all of a sudden the packs were starting to get scarcer and scarcer. So I went through 4 8-packs of his seeds, which are $80 a piece to find the girls I'm working with.
So check me out. Instead of going through 4 8-packs of somebody's seeds, what I like to do is just create my own F2 generation. I get the original pack of seeds. I make my own F2 generation by finding the two, the two basically nicest females, and then a nice male, and put it to both of those females, and then I'll put all those seeds together, and I will pop from there to find that keeper female that I am now looking for. You see what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, the same strain, but now I've just opened the gene pool up more, and I've got a whole lot more seeds to work with.
See, I'm just learning, so like now that I know, I would probably do that. Purple Thumb OG just said he can't wait for that lime pop cross. I do have a lemon GXB crossed with lime pop, 89 lime pop.
And I don't know, that must be the Canorado. Is that what that is?
It's not a Canorado. It's just
I'm like in a cave over here for real, man. Like I spent the last 5 some years, on the farm and shit. Like I'm literally like in a cave.
See, I'm the generation where it's like I'm always on a computer, so I always want to be researching or something. So like I drop knowledge about stupid stuff on strains, like who bred it and stuff, just because like I like keeping the lineage of where the strain came from, so people can't claim it. That's just the thing that I like, because like I put something on, Be Real from Cypress Hill.
Cypress Hill, hell yeah, no shit.
They're growing. Dr. Green Thumb's growing wedding cake, and I just posted. I was like, wedding cake came from Seed Junkies. Da da da. You know what I mean? He's like, dude, much respect for the knowledge. I'm like, I just don't want people to think like you guys bred. You know what I mean? You're breeding, you're growing someone else's strain that made a very nice strain. Wedding cake's one of my favorite strains out. Newer.
Just a little funsy here. So you asked me if I knew who Be Real is. Well, the name Dr. Wiggler is from Dr. Green Thumb. I was sitting around one day and I was listening to Dr. Green Thumb, and I'm a worm farmer. I raise red wigglers. And I'm like, some people call me Dr. Wiggler. And I was like, oh shit, like that's it.
Good
Uh,
tune. Yeah. They were a great band to watch live.
they were like, good live, and that's what
Mm.
made them great.
What was funny is when I went to see them at Brixton Academy in London. Well, not in London, Brixton. And my boss who came with us was over from New York. And he was like, oh, no, I've seen them in New York as well. And he went, wow, the crowd's different. What do you mean? He goes, well, in New York, it was an all black crowd. There was no white guys in the audience. Like, yeah.
There you go to the UK, it's
white
all white
audience.
people.
Yeah. And they end with rock superstar instead of rap superstar. I mean, they kind of definitely they gets a little bit more. Yeah, I would say that caters more for okay, white people.
No,
listen
that
to rock
sounds like they were
music.
catering to the crowd. It is what it is.
It
They
is what
have
it is.
they have to though. You know what I mean? Wherever they go, they're gonna rep where they are. Or
I mean, let's face it. It's a diversified band, and they know what their community's like or whatever.
And security didn't give a shit when they went, okay, who wants to get high? And the whole audience just goes.
And
like,
speaking of that, you guys know who
if you
Cottonmouth
throw
Kings
everybody
is,
out
right?
for smoking,
I
you got to
do.
throw
I'm
the
not
whole
an ICP
audience out.
fan. No.
I don't know if ICP and Cottonmouth Kings have anything to do with
They
each other.
do.
But no, they don't.
Any juggalo listens to Cottonmouth Kings. Don't lie to me.
Well, that's besides the point. That's not. They don't have anything to do with each other. But anyway, so back in the '90s, the late '90s, I went to a Cottonmouth Kings concert, and this was like back in let me think, like Suburban Noise. They were just but like dude, they tell the whole crowd to fire it up. So naturally, I fire it up, dude. Immediately, I get 2 taps on my shoulder telling me I gotta go. As a 17-year-old kid or a 16-year-old kid or something, I'm like, motherfucker.
Well, I remember going to who the hell was it again? Industrial metal band. Oh shit. I'm trying to remember the name of them. Not Fear Factory. It could have been Fear Factory actually. I think it was Fear Factory, the Digimortal tour. Go to that gig, and my mate managed to get thrown out. I'm like, what the fuck did you do? I'm watching what's going on here. What did you say or do that managed to get you thrown out compared to the carnage that I'm seeing unfold in front of me? It was like, no way, fuck.
It
What?
still sucks. I've probably been kicked out of like 8 concerts for smoking pot, but now I can just smoke pot freely and openly at all the concerts here in Michigan.
With no more concerts.
Nobody gives a fuck.
I'm not gonna focus.
But last year when I went
Too
to them
green.
concerts,
It's too much bright light there. Yeah, I must say my kids have been lucky, and it's definitely an advantage that growing up like in Europe and as well as like in the US, I guess, that you didn't have growing up in South Africa was access to the same kind of music. And something both of my kids have been encouraged to, because Sarah and I are, both into bands and music and stuff, is, go up to London, go to the gigs. At 16, I mean, I was blagging getting the elder one into a gig with her mates because they had to be 16 to get in, and none of them had ID because they were all 15. And I just blagged it with the doorman to get them all in. But yeah, they were seeing loads of these bands in small venues, but you just never got that in South Africa at all. Not at the same like international level of bands that you could go to a small concert to and check out.
I gotta imagine the international level bands are big venues. Huge.
Well, you find that they play at these really little venues as well over here. I mean, and what I've seen some amazing bands in the most like intimate setting where there's only like 150 people there. They do like this little thing, and there's the band. You can stand there and touch the damn crowd. You know, the crew. It's incredible. And then they get to watch all these ones before they become big as well. They were into Bring Me the Horizon and all these other, I don't know, music that they're into long before they were big popular bands. They were playing these tiny little gigs and venues. And in fact, I think my eldest daughter's got a picture of her with the lead singer, which you wouldn't be able to get now, you know, not unless you can fight your way through the thronging mass.
There's a small venue here, you know, the next city over, and it's called the Machine Shop, and there's a lot of big bands that go there too. Like, I mean, I've seen Pop Evil there, and I mean other names like that. You know,
I
Hell
seen
Yeah and stuff.
Bring
And
Me
one
the
of my
Horizon in a basement. Actually, I was into all that. Like, well, initially I was into like Boston, like hardcore music, like Blood for Blood, Slapshot, old school, uh, Integra. Like, I always had like a weird, like, I loved going to the hardcore shows and the mosh pits and stuff. But then I got into like A Day to Remember, which is more like pop punky, and I was like the age where they were new. I was seeing them in basements and like, and then you would go to a show. I went to a show like a couple of years ago, and it's packed wall to wall now, sold out. And I'm like, you can't even move. It's not even fun anymore.
Yeah, I think they are. Who was asking chat? Seed to Soul was the first concert, like arena concert. I don't think I've ever. I mean, I hate to show my age, but it's
Summer
definitely
Jam.
some horrible one back in the 80s, but late 80s, 89. But otherwise, like at university, I think that was getting to see that proper, like, first kind of gigs and whatnot. And Napalm, was it Napalm Sheep? And
Napalm Death.
No, Napalm. There was
Oh.
Napalm, Ned's Atomic Dustbins, and Napalm Sheep, or it's Nuns on Napalm. Oh, I can't remember, but like local bands in Portsmouth that were really, really good. And then we had like Public Enemy, you know, played at the Students' Union and shit like that. So you got some good bands coming through.
My first concert, I wasn't even 10 years old. It was out in Detroit at what now is DTE. It's the Field. Anybody that knows it, you know, as locally, it's the Field. You're on the wall, or you're on the hill. That's what it's the hill. But it was Kiss, the reopening tour that came in on a helicopter, the reunion tour, like when they got back together. It was a fun show. Like, I watched them come in on a helicopter and shit. I'm like 9 years old with my parents, you know, like all fucked up at a concert probably.
But I think one that had, yeah, like the concert that probably had biggest impact was the Bring the Noise tour, Anthrax and Public Enemy. That was, you know, the thing is, and you got all this new metal that was like suddenly turns up somewhat later. You go, hang on, you know, Anthrax, Public Enemy were doing this. They collabed on a tour and album, and that was impressive. That was something else to watch.
Anthrax was good back in the day. So was Misfits. Misfits were always okay.
Soul to Soul gig in Brixton. Oh, that was young. Yeah, actually, that might have. Fuck, it was so long ago. It's terrible.
Technically, my first show, I was like 5 or 6, and my dad was in a band when I was younger. So it was like my dad's last show before he was retiring. So I did see my dad play, but my first like big gig was with a girl. 8th grade year, I decided to go to Summer Jam over here, which is like rap. And it was like when Ja Rule was big.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Akon just came out. If anyone knows who Akon is, I seen Akon. Murphy Lee, and a couple others.
I'm not gonna get past the Ja Rule.
For some
No,
reason,
Ja was the shit back in the day. Like all the chicks wanted to listen to that shit, and you
Mm.
know, if you was bumping, you was getting it down to some Ja Rule.
yeah. And then you seen him in Fast and the Furious. He made that appearance. And
So
I
Wu
don't know.
Tang, or is that to East Coast, the East Coast? Yeah, fuck.
I
I
definitely
always-
know who Wu Tang is.
I would be surprised if people didn't.
Wu Tang for life, bitches.
Everyone.
Exactly.
There's still, you'll see the youngest kids wearing Wu Tang shirts still.
Mm. I mean, there are definitely. I mean, there's one particular. Is it ICP? I don't want to,
Insane
appear
Clown Posse.
appear uncool and call it by the full name. I'm down with the kids, yo. ICP.
Listen,
Yo, you know me.
they're smart. They
Oh, the
made
one
a lot,
song
they
that
made
they
a
did-
lot of fucking money with
That
their bullshit.
Halloween track. That track I think is hilarious because it's really well written. The lyrics in that, like yeah. Every other day of the year, you don't want the kids taking candy from me, but Halloween.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
They have a following. The Gathering of the Juggalos is always full. Like
I've been to that venue and it is.
I want to
nuts.
go.
It's like a
listen,
dope. It's like a dope fucking venue, though. To be honest, like I've been there and it was bad. Like they literally had like Dope Hill and like it was pretty bad. I was like, wow. This
Yeah,
is rough.
everything's there.
And it does show you the portion of the population that should be sterilized while they're there.
More, I bet you more
Is that
kids are
makeup
there.
or is that permanent tattoo? Permanent tattoo. Could you just step in here for a second, please?
Hey, I ain't hating, man. I listened to ICP when I was a kid. It was fun.
I did too. Like someone gave me the CD and I was into Limp Bizkit, listening to Limp Bizkit and shit. And I
Red
was
Thirst, y'all.
Yeah, see, what was wrong with
Rolling,
you should be
rolling,
listening to
rolling.
Pantera.
I like Pantera now. I like
Shit, I
Superjoint
loved
Ritual.
Pantera back then. That was my dad's shit.
Prong.
And, like I was always in on that.
See, that was your dad's shit. That was my shit. Fucking Pantera, Prong.
Well, Like I listen to a
Uh,
lot of Pantera now. I mean, like I was probably listening to that this morning.
That was the
I've
funny
listened
thing
to
when
a
the
lot of
kids go,
reggae.
Southern
Trendkill. Oh, 5 Minutes Alone. That is a brilliant song.
It is a good.
Yeah. And Drag the Water Some More.
They're all good. I mean,
Up in Smoke tour was incredible. It was a good. It was Dr. Dre, Snoop.
Yeah,
The Up in Smoke tour. That was a good one. I want to see Wiz Khalifa before I get too old, just because he's just like the known stoner of everyone, and his music's just good to vibe to. He doesn't rap about like, you know what I mean, crazy stuff. He's just chill music, really.
I want to
Huh.
spend some time on the island, as in Jamaica, and
I want to
get
go
back
down.
in touch with some good roots reggae. That's my other soft spot. Is
there's
good
not
roots
too many
reggae.
rappers these days that I would really care to see. There's some local talent that I would definitely want to see, but other than that, like most of the rap scene's pretty much trash in my opinion these days.
Honestly, the ones that I wanted to see are dead.
yeah,
Juice
like
WRLD, XXXTentacion, and Nipsey Hussle and Pop Smoke are the 4 rappers I would go see today. And we have a good one local that's actually big, Joyner Lucas. He's more lyrical than anything. He's really good. If you're into like rap at all, Doctor, you might like Joyner Lucas.
I definitely listen to a little bit of rap. I listen to everything, man.
I don't know how
Me
well this
too.
will work, but if anybody in chat, if you use Spotify, this is shit. No, that's not gonna work, is it? Bollocks.
My mom
Is the
grew me up on
Operation Grow?
country.
Now, country's the one I can't get into. I don't.
It's hard to get into, but once
Like-
there's like Keith Urban, Tim McGraw was like that age when I was listening to it, when they were like really, I don't know, I guess they were good. They were like their golden years, and it was like I think it's better music back then than now. Country music now is more all about trucks, drinking. Really trucks, drinking, and girls. Back then it was kind of the same, but it was Yeah.
Instead of lowriders and hoes, it's
it's gonna
Truck
be
drink, it's-
gun
Yeah, it's truck drivers and missing kids in the back of milk cartons.
Oh man.
Now they got one
I-
that's it's a mud bogging one. It's take me on your buggy, take me on your buggy.
You ever see that
Oh.
guy outlawed? Like he has outlawed dip. He does mad parodies on like country music. It's so funny. He's so funny.
I think is it Ween, the lap dance. Oh, no, is it? No, it's not Ween. It's Bloodhound Gang. The lap dance is so much better
You
when the
and
stripper
me,
is crying.
baby, ain't nothing but
Um,
mammals. Let's do it like they do on the
He-
Discovery Channel. One more time now.
listen to.
That's the Bloodhound Gang. That's what I said.
Yeah, that is the Bloodhound Gang. But listen to it's better when the stripper is crying. That is rough. It's really. I
Got a
seen them live.
question,
They're an
Pete.
amazing band live as well. Yes.
So in the UK, is like snus, like nicotine, like snus, big?
Snuff. No, not. I don't know anybody who does snuff.
Because I've always heard it's bigger overseas. I used to, like back in the day, before I got into vaping and stuff, I used to dip and do snus.
I've only seen Americans do it. Maybe
Really?
in Europe, but not in the UK. And I mean, I can only speak for people I've hung out with, but
Mm.
I've never seen anybody do it. Not even the old crew, who you would expect to be like, the chewers or use snuff.
It's
But it
such
went
a
out of
weird.
fashion.
It's such
I
a
think.
weird. Yeah, it's such a weird one.
I don't even know if you can buy me because you can only buy
You
it
can still get it.
maybe from like specialist tobacconists and stuff like that. So,
You mean to tell me chewing tobacco's not the thing over there? People ain't just like snacking a big old wad and
You would know that. Wiggles talks to everyone like this. Hey, brother, how you doing? big old lip of dip in their truck.
yeah.
I do not dip. No, definitely not.
Yeah, but if you're at a mud bug, everyone around you, I bet you does.
There's people that do. They all smoke pot, man. You'd be surprised. Like
Yeah, I could imagine.
everybody's just getting fucking stoned and drunk, dude.
It's honestly a big party. Like you watch like
That's all it
YouTube
is.
videos.
It's a fucking party. Like
Yeah.
that's,
Let's all get high, drunk, and then
Try
drive
to go
around
through-
in big
try to go
trucks.
through this big
Yeah, to
ass
be honest,
water.
to be honest, most of the people driving trucks aren't getting wasted, especially if they got any money into their truck because they don't want to fuck their
Yeah.
truck.
Mm.
Now you will see some guys out there in that $500 beater and a 12-pack, you know.
No lift or nothing. They're just going
Yeah,
for
they're
it.
just fucking tearing it to hell, yeah. Which is fun to watch.
It is. Dude, I just learned what is it? Up in Alaska, I think it is. For a holiday, they just shoot cars off a cliff.
Dude,
I'm
like,
gonna Google it, I'll find it. Hold on.
that sounds badass. Like I want to watch. I like
I
the
see.
car fly.
Yeah, I think you might have be right. 4 plants that like chewing tobacco is illegal in the UK. Oh, it's all slowly becoming illegal, and then it'll all become legal again because they go, "Fuck, we need the tax money. Let's just legalize everything and just tax it." If I
Well, I
want
mean,
to walk
that's-
down to the shop and buy 2 kilos of cocaine because I've got a personal habit,
Well, that's the
I'm
only
tax it.
reason cannabis has became legal in the states is money. Like
Mm.
all these states opened because of money. They didn't open because they cared about anybody. They opened because they figured they could get this amount of revenue.
Oh yeah, exactly.
What's up, Tyler?
Not much, just getting off work. How are you guys?
What up?
Hey, Tyler.
Yo, doctor, when you get a chance, it is Alaska. Google their 4th of July party. They just take all the cars they don't want and they just launch them off a 250-foot cliff.
Pull that
Occasionally
shit
with
up,
the wife
Pete.
at the wheel.
It's fun to. It's funny. I came across it this past 4th of July being stuck in the house.
When they tell you that they're shooting the old banger off the cliff. You got to double check. Is that just the car or the car and the wife?
Oh, Seed the Soul knows exactly what I was talking about. He says we buy Jeeps and leave them in muddy field. That's what I'm talking about. Like people do that shit with all kinds of cars.
Hi, my name's Jed. We buy Jeeps and leave them in a muddy field.
His name might not be Jed. You're just
Get down to Crazy
you're
Jed's
stereotypical, man.
Of course I have. Of course. I'm just taking out the tar brush and tarring everybody with the same brush.
I used to off-road my Camaro back in the day.
Yeah, and I definitely wouldn't call him Ted. I mean, Smash Cannabis, it's nice to meet you, but you're definitely not the country boy, that I would think of. That'd be out there running my Camaro in the
Hang
mud.
on, we haven't seen if he's got web toes.
I got my Audi stuck once. You know when they build the houses, it's just one big mud pot when it rains. So I'm driving through it with an all-wheel drive Audi, and I'm like, all right, so they're gonna build here. I'm going before they build the houses. I want to drift it. So I'm going in it, and I'm going, and all of a sudden I hit a plot where they just have dug up for they started to loosen up for the foundation to dig down, and my car just sinks to the frame. Just whoop.
I mean, you kind of deserve that.
Hi, my name's Smash Cannabis. I buy 4-wheel drive Audis or whatever and leave them in fields.
Hey, I actually had to get it out before the cops came because it was pretty close to the town.
You're kind of living up to the country boy stereotype there.
Yeah, I mean, you really are. You really
I was about to
are.
say,
I
doctor,
always
maybe you
used
need to
their
retract
bike.
it.
We always partied. We partied in the woods. When I was in high school, it was a woods party thing.
Yeah, he's country as fuck.
Doesn't count when you're
But I
evading.
I live in a city. Like I'm close to Boston. I'm like an hour outside of Boston. So we have that's what I tell people. I can go in the woods and have fun with you and start a fire, but I can also go into Boston with you and I can show you the coolest places.
Best of both worlds.
I try. I'd rather be able to go camping and be able to go into the city and have fun. I like the woods because it's calming. I wouldn't mind, now I'm getting older, I wouldn't mind living in the woods and peaceful. My own little land, dirt bike where I want. It's weird. I guess you would call me country because that's what I do want.
You
Well, I
forgot
think it's
the
what
box
everybody
field.
needs to do.
You know,
We all need to
my
move
own-
out into smaller living. We need to move back into small village style living so
my
that
own little plot, my indoor, my outdoor, and my dirt bike. That's all I need.
I think you might need a lady friend at some point. I'm just saying.
I've
you
tried.
just
yo,
sit on your
all right,
hand long enough. Apparently, it makes it feel like someone else, doesn't it?
Here's my experience. Hey, the
Little bit
40-year-old
of lippy.
virgin didn't look bad to me.
Can you breathe, Doc?
I was trying, man.
He's
He
just
got me
realized
good on
he's
that one.
Doc's just been sitting on his left hand for the last half hour.
I just recently sat on my hand. How much longer are we gonna be?
Oh man.
You'll have to excuse me in about 20 minutes, guys.
I'll be back in 2.
I've got a
Wait
date with
a
Lefty
second.
Lucy.
I'm so excited to have a grinder. I haven't had a grinder in so long. It's so much easier.
Yeah, I don't even want to
Shot glass and
remember.
scissors won't fix.
I don't want to
Yeah.
remember what not having a grinder was like.
I used to just use scissors, but I have no life, and I have a good Flappy Bird score. And Guru from the DGC put out the challenge: if anyone can beat my score of 134, I'll give him a DGC grinder. And my high score is 202. So
Uh-huh.
I got this nice DGC grinder from their concentration celebration.
Nice.
Sweet.
I can't wait.
Any-
I'm trying to go next year to the Indo Expo, and I want to go to the DGC Cup.
Which one? The Indo in Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's happening. I haven't heard anything. They haven't sent me any details yet. And by now, I think I would have received. I certainly had by this time last year, if I recall, had received prices and that for stalls, which I just go, you fucking kidding me?
Is it that much?
Yeah, I don't want to buy the venue. I just want to stall.
You should come. We have a. It's not big, but they have one in Massachusetts, in Worcester. It's not small. I would say there was Jinx was there, Seeds Here Now was there. I actually have who else was there?
I actually find we have better. It's better off just being there, walking around, talking to people, talking to the stores and things like that.
You talk to a lot of people anyways, you know what I mean? So you could just stop at a booth whenever you want.
I find the only day that's really, from our side, was like from the Peel Growth System side at those sorts of events, like the day where it's really worth it is the business day. I mean, I'm, just talking purely from a commercial side. That's where you actually have proper conversations about the commercials and, selling product. And then when it's the general public day, it's, well, what freebies do you have? And, it's, you don't have as many serious conversations.
I actually never. I'm not that person at those. If you want to give me something, you're gonna have to say, "Here, man, take this." I don't just take things. Or like, "Can I have this, please?" "Oh, you're giving these away for free? Let me get one." I'm not
No,
like
you
that.
see people walking around with the merch tote bags and just filling them up as they go.
Yeah, I
So what
see
you do
that.
is you take a couple of thumb drives and you stick some nasty software on it, and you just leave those lying around. And next minute, oh yes, there's all sorts of reasons why you don't take thumb drives from events.
I have a question. Where do I put my unsexed plants for the pictures?
I'll send you a link. Message me. I'll send it to you. I'll add you to the.
Because I have the
shared
female
list.
one. And I
Cool.
just don't know. I don't know where to
Well,
put
you've got that. You've got that link. So if you don't know what sex it is, then hold on to them until you do know what sex it is, because I need to know for the pictures. It has to be these are female, even if it's before they were showing. If you know that they're female, you can then upload all of them and say, okay, they were definitely female.
If they're fem seeds, yeah, I got you. Because these ones are regular. Those the blueberry Afghani cross I'm working. And I just didn't know if you wanted me to go from seedling on those ones too, or just sex them and then start taking pictures.
Yeah, no. If you are taking pictures from seedling for your own record, and then at the point where you go, oh, okay, this is.
Oh yeah, okay. I see what you.
These pictures are males, and all of these are female. Then that's cool.
Okay.
And yeah, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
I can do that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and then we hope to rally some troops together on the Cannabuzz side of things as well. See if that.
Speaking of Cannabuzz, anyone see Jeff's free giveaway today?
No, I didn't. No.
He's giving away a free pack of Morning Dew.
Okay.
For the best reason why.
For the,
yeah.
For the best reason why. We know where you live and where your kid goes to school.
Oh my God, Pete. You won't do it. If I see a comment on there, I would die.
I think you should do it, Pete. Just to see him.
Do it.
He's gonna yell at you because you're out of the U.S. He's gonna be like, "I'm not sending him overseas." To be like, "I know. I just wanted to be a dick anyway."
Actually, the thing is, it's absolutely fine to send them to the UK. Over here, although everybody watching is from the UK, what's really interesting is it's illegal to germinate the seeds, but it's not illegal to be in possession of the seeds.
They're collector.
It's the same thing here. Technically, you can ship seeds. You can have seeds. That's not illegal. They don't contain THC.
Yeah. And it's because you get them in bird seed over here, bird feed.
They're in bird feed here. People just don't freaking realize it. They've made hemp seed oil products for years and years and years.
Exactly. If you throw out your bird seed, you'd be surprised as to what grows in your garden all of a sudden.
Don't go planting bird seed, motherfuckers.
This is
oh, did we lose Smash?
He's saying his computer is updated.
Yeah, he logged out.
Have
Yeah,
fun,
you have
Smash. Nice to meet you, buddy.
the woodpecker strain, you know. This is a parrot weed grown with real parrot shit.
You know, the government has data. The U.S. government, I should make it clear, I guess, since how we are
I'm guessing.
worldwide. But like they have data like on when they tested cannabis, so like back in the what is it all right, I'm not going to try to remember that at the moment, but they tested cannabis back in the 80s and in the 50s, and when they did it, they ultimately came up with perfect grow conditions and this and that, what happens here and what happens there. And like you can go online, you can find this, you can download it. They found that chickens that ate certain seeds, then revisit and pooped them out, then revisited them plants later.
Hmm. Hmm.
Chickens are smarter than they look.
Like that exact plant, the one that they pooped out, not the one next to it. You know what I mean? Like they would come visit the same plant. Like,
Well, the interesting is
They prep it.
if you put monkeys in a field with mushrooms, where there are psychedelic mushrooms and normal mushrooms, they'll nail all the psychedelic mushrooms before they go after the other ones. They say,
they know. They're like, what's
Yeah,
that?
that's why they throw shit.
They're crazy. They're all tripping.
Well, this is what there's a great book called Food of the Gods, which is like the study of the effect of drugs on society going all the way back, to magic mushrooms and what, early evolution, what was part of like the evolution of language comes from the monkey tripping on mushrooms who wants to suddenly describe this crap going on, and you need to start working out ways of doing things. So they reckon mushrooms or psychedelics were part of what aided this desire to express yourself.
Express
Isn't that like the stoned
yourself.
ape theory?
Sorry?
Isn't that like the stoned ape theory?
But the book goes into like the effect of TV and how addictive TV and chocolate, what the effect chocolates had on society, in shaping economies at certain points, and how it's a very interesting read, and the buzz you get off chocolate.
Well,
Yeah.
Americans don't even really eat chocolate. They eat like fake chocolate.
I mean, actual chocolate gives you a buzz.
I know, that's what I mean. Like the cocoa, that's like for real. And then like what we eat over here is chocolates, like I don't know, milk and sugar, and like got some chocolate in it.
Like Fate, all that fun jazz.
Yeah. So hang on, I am going to go and smoke a cigarette. So I'm just quickly switching to my phone. Hold on a second.
I just need to step out for a little cigarette break. Things are gonna kill you someday, Pete.
Right, that should still be working, hopefully. This is where it gets weird, like, whoa.
Oh, you actually almost sound better like that.
Why, thank you. I think it's because I'm actually on 4G and I'm on Wi-Fi. This is going to get all weird.
Oh, now it's going to mess it all up.
So, Doc, how long do your plants come down, you think?
When they start to fade, dude, I don't want to be smoking that pop fucking cherry bud, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not interested in that. I'm trying to get some kind of flush on them,
Yeah. Like I said, I'm on 2 weeks and just barely starting.
I think we're like in the same, zone of flush, right? Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, so
I had a little bit of foxtailing on the one.
Another week or two, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't care either, like it's one of those things for me, like it is what it is. I don't want to smoke it like it is, so I'm just gonna take it as long as I got to. And the
Yep.
trichomes ain't finished up either. I haven't seen an amber trichome one, so
Hmm.
Starve them with water. They'll fucking amber up pretty quick. I learned that the hard way.
dude, I'll starve. Oh yeah, for sure. if you dry them out, yeah. Oh shit, that's
Hey,
the
your plant's
opposite of what.
taking too long to cure or to mature. Kill him.
Having trouble getting your plants to finish? Just let them dry out once.
48 hours is all you need.
Wow, on the orange gasms, or I mean, on the autopots?
Yeah, I had my back right aqua valve kind of gunk up, and 48 hours later, she fucking was dead.
Wow, like that surprises the hell out of me because, like, I mean, I could have turned my reservoir off for a month and it would probably been all right. Like, the plants would have eventually, like, they seemed like they held water for like 2 weeks. They could have went without needing water after you turn the res off or something.
It's the pot closest to the fan, so I think the fan was blowing the moisture away.
Yeah, that'll dehydrate it out really quickly. Yeah.
They hold a
That
lot of
extra-
water in those spots, that's for sure.
Mm,
Oh,
mm. But that, yeah, if you have a fan blowing over it, it's remarkable just how quickly it dries it out.
Yep.
Yeah, I like to grind my tobacco.
I was gonna say that doesn't look like a cigarette.
Hey, now, hey,
Hey,
to roll your own.
with my original herb grinder that I bought in Amsterdam,
That's a tobacco grinder.
this is 20 years old and still going strong.
Well, he's been tobacco grinding for 20 years, folks.
Exactly. And in particular, that Dutch tobacco. Dutch and Jamaican tobacco I found is particularly good. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba. So what's you just pulled up at the side of the road there, Tyler?
No, I'm outside my work.
Oh, okay.
He just didn't leave. He's just
Haven't
sitting
even
there.
left yet.
11-hour shift. I'm beat, man. I don't feel like
No
driving. yet.
way. No way. 11-hour shift. Fuck.
11-hour shift, 5 days a week.
Jesus. Oh well. You're young.
You gotta remember, I got 2 young kids. My wife's a stay-at-home parent, so
Yeah,
got bills to pay.
yeah. Oh, I know, dude. Oh, I know. I used to do
Fuck.
those.
Formula
12
and diapers
hours.
alone is like $90 a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. I remember doing those long ass days in the office and that. I mean, like be in the office for 6:30 in the morning. Don't leave till 5, but it took you an hour and a half to get to the office. And then you also have to be, so you're getting up at fucking 4 a.m.
Fuck, I get up at 4 a.m. to check my plans.
Yeah. Growing, you've got to be committed.
Oh, fuck yeah, bud. It's a strict
Whether it
schedule.
be kids or plants.
Kids get up at 6. I'm out of the house by 5:30. It's the wife's problem. Then I get back. Then they're my problem.
And they're hyped to see you, and all you want to do is go to sleep.
I'm half expecting a text message saying, "Why are you online? Why aren't you driving home?"
You should reply back, why are you watching me online and not in the kitchen cooking?
Oh, now he's definitely getting the call.
I don't remember giving you permission to use the phone.
Who do you think pays for that phone, lady? Come on.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Next week, Tyler's living in his truck.
Truck, it's a fucking Hyundai.
Tyler's living in his Hyundai.
It's okay. My seats recline. I'm good.
Yeah, he has a mobile address.
Put me in house arrest, officer. I go anywhere I want.
Yeah, exactly. Will not leave the vehicle. Oh no. No, those days are long over, thankfully. Although saying that, I'm thinking of this move to Jamaica, that would be a lot of work.
Any particular region you're thinking about in Jamaica, or just anywhere?
Somewhere that's sheltered from the hurricanes is ideally what I'm after. So I'm thinking northwest part of the island.
Okay.
Kind of avoids the full brunt of them. Although I've got to check. My mom spent like 15 years in the Caribbean, so she knows where's a good, like where you got to watch out for. Like, don't be there because you just get torn through every year. You'll get really good at rebuilding shit. But I was looking. I want something where with a decent amount of land. This is what will probably make Dr. Wiggler laugh. But I'm after, say, 20 acres around the top end, but minimum of 10 acres.
I mean,
10 to 20 acres.
Nobody could laugh about that many acres in Jamaica, though. That's a lot of acres there.
Mm.
Their acres run out real quick. It's an island.
Yeah, exactly. And it's fairly. It's reasonably priced what you can get for that compared to what you would be paying for over here, for obviously. But I could almost, if I sold up a house here, moved there, the profit from the sale of the house here would almost cover the entire purchase of land and house. It's sort of house, and so no mortgage, which is really what I'm after. And you can always just live there. I've got enough land to survive on. I don't really care. I own it. The bank can't come and take it away.
Me and the wife's plan after we move out of this place, the value's gone up crazy in the last 2 years. So move out to this country, get a little land, mortgage free. Yeah.
And all I need is to make sure that there's still good internet access, and it appears to be pretty reasonable internet access on the island. That's all I need. So as long as I got good internet coverage, 20 acres out the back, I'll turn 20 acres to cannabis quite happily. I'm not doing it for anything other than personal grow. That breeding project we want to do for the show, hey, 20 acres to do it on.
There is a pheno hunt.
I guarantee you don't plant 20 acres by yourself.
Of course not. I have a 10 on the end of the property.
He's got to plant 20 plants.
And try and figure out something to do for the local community kind of involvement as well.
I got some contacts in Jamaica, buddy, like that are in the cannabis industry there. So.
Oh, I mean, I'm looking to carry on doing the work I do, but I can just do it from there. So it would be nice if I'll still be paid what the really nice idea is to still be paid the UK salary and be living in Jamaica. It's like, okay, cool. Live like a king. An exchange rate that works heavily in your favor. I'm just tired of this shit weather here.
I'm actually looking forward to the winter.
I want hot summers, and I don't need cold winters at all. I can avoid them altogether. Yep, for sure. For 2 weeks in the summer, pop up. And
can't you go to like certain spots in Canada and be like all good, like on the BC Island, or is it? Oh no, that's not right. Not BC. There's parts of Canada that are supposed to be not crazy bad.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
there's a few places they're heavily populated, so.
It is an island. One of the YouTube growers lives on it. I just can't remember.
Vancouver.
Vancouver Island. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, Vancouver Island's probably the mildest of them. But what's interesting is if you look at a true map, you see just how far north the UK actually is. I mean, we're way up there. So we actually get really mild weather. If we didn't have that Gulf Stream, we would be fucked in the winter.
I don't know. I'm in Michigan, like on the border of Canada, in lakes, and like it's a peninsula. It's cold as fuck here in the winter.
Exactly.
On the other side of that lake.
Yeah. And you're on the
Hey.
other side of the lakes.
Yep.
There you go.
And it doesn't get that cold here. I mean, in the middle of winter, the coldest I've had it get here, I think we had minus 15 degrees Celsius. The coldest
T-shirt
I've
weather.
been is like minus 20, 22 in Switzerland. But it got down to minus 15, and that was like extremely cold. And it hasn't done that for years.
I know this. When it's cold outside, it's easy to maintain temperatures inside.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Like there's nothing like the controlled environment when it's cold outside. Like it's easy to control.
The
And you
only
find you
place
need
I
to
have
use
issues
it.
with that is in the
Hmm?
cold room. I have to run the heater in the wintertime. That's the only issue. Other than that, the rest of it's fine.
And you find in the winter you sometimes have to be adding humidity because the air is so dry that's coming in, especially if it's sub-zero temperatures outside. You've got bone dry air coming in. The desert is more humid than the Arctic.
Unless you're in a Michigan basement.
A flooded Michigan basement.
Hey, never in the winter now. Come on.
That's a summertime activity.
Spring, summer.
Mm,
Dude, I had like a foot of water in my basement that time. That shit was crazy.
fuck. That's nuts, man.
You
I didn't
seen the
even know.
video of it, didn't you?
Yeah. I wouldn't even know it. I mean, I don't have a basement. So if I came home to a foot full of water in my basement, I'd be like, "That's strange." First of all,
This is
where the
my
fuck did the
house.
basement? Where the fuck did the basement come from?
And whose shit is in here?
Hey, your house is fucked. You've got a foot of water in your basement. I'm leaving. I would like a house with a basement. They don't get them. That's not common here in England. Is houses with basements.
You might have a high water table. Obviously, I do
I
too.
don't know. Yeah,
so,
about a foot higher than the bottom of the floor.
as soon as the sub pump turned off, it was filled up rather quickly.
Ooh.
It doesn't take long, man.
That's a pretty smooth tobacco you're smoking there.
It's very smooth.
Doesn't make you cough or nothing. I can notice that. You have to let me know who your tobacco supplier is so I can get some international tobaccos.
Oh yeah, we can certainly arrange for that. Yeah, it's definitely a smooth variety. Right, whoa, make everybody nauseous as I flick the phone around. It's dark outside of Southern England.
I think I'm gonna get out of here, fellas. It's been
Yeah, same here. My wife's bitching at me.
Is she?
Oh yeah.
She was watching the show, Pete. You screwed it up.
Oh,
It's okay. She's a great cook. She loves it in there.
It's okay. It's not my wife.
Look, now he's trying to make it up. He's like, she's a great cook. She loves it in there.
Stays in the kitchen all the time. What the chains
She's
are
a great
for.
cook. I wouldn't eat it.
Oh shit! Oh my god!
Hey guys, take care.
All right, dude. Catch you later, man. All right, then.
Yeah, I'm out of here too. Thanks to anybody that listened to any of this mumbo jumbo. Have fun, Pete.
Exactly,
Good seeing
dude.
you, brother.
All right, bro. I'll catch you later. Have a good one. Alrighty then, everybody in chat. Hey, thanks for staying along 2 hours, joining in. It's been hopefully an amusing chat. Just a reminder that there isn't a show this Saturday. It will be the closing season for Operation Grow Season 3, or at least the closing episode on the 19th. So join us then. But thank you all for stopping by. Don't forget to hit and subscribe if you haven't. That'd be great. Very much appreciated. Stay safe.